Well, here we are, Mutz Stu. This is a collab between our whānau organisation, the Ahi Poutu Collective, and the Centre for Health in Tauranga Moana. And basically, like we're saying, we're just going to cut straight to the chase. And yeah, over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking, having a kōrero about how we're going to help, or how we can possibly assist or look at preventing men from dying a lot younger.
Yeah, before their time, eh, brother?
Yeah.
Before their time. Like, we've had a couple of mates from Kura pass away, eh?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, bro, way before their time.
Way before their time. And to be fair, like, I don't know, like from the outside, just from my own personal view, like looking at them, I would have thought they were, you know, like both at reasonable levels of health.
Yeah.
Where I thought, there's no way, and I suppose a little disbelief around the tangihanga too, like, how did this happen to the bro, you know, and yeah, just that general feeling like, I actually, you know, thought he was quite healthy, but then, you know, like talking like to a mutual mate of ours, Willie Moss, the doc, you know, like what is
health, eh?
Yeah, and how does that look?
So I suppose we can bring that to our audience. Hey, what is health, like from a doctor's perspective, or from your perspective, Stu? Yeah. What is health? What is hauora for you, brother?
Well, I definitely know in the last couple of years, you know, due to some circumstances of my own health, it has definitely changed. I suppose I always associated with my physical well-being. So immediately, you know, like, do I look well was always like associated to like how much weight I would be carrying, basically.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And so that was my definite marker for me, that if I sort of looked in reasonable shape, then that would tell me that, hey, hara te nāna takuta, you know, like, pai no te Māori.
No doctor, but look alright,
and all those things, you know, and then, I suppose as I've, you know, like we're saying, closer to 50 than we are 40 now, my mate.
Yeah.
The narrative's changed a wee bit. Just because, that's probably just more conscious of the things that I can't actually see. And top 2 inches included, I suppose, too, you know.
Bro, that's a big one, eh? That's a big one, the old grey matter, eh? The old what you think and how you're thinking, you know.
Yeah, especially around hauora too, because, like, I mean, shaped by the men we've been shaped by in our lifetime.
Some say it could be fairly blunt.
Yeah.
At times, eh?
It was times, and so, not really understanding what that might look like too, and I suppose for our papas and some of our uncles, like just that, I suppose there weren't as many like risks around too, you know, like they and I even look at my papa now, still eats well and still moves a lot and all those sorts of things, and, you know, in his 70s now sort of thing, but I know there's just a lot more risk for us out here now, whether it's, you know, toxins in the air, in the water, and, you know, fucking drinking water from the tap can be dangerous these days, sorts of things.
Right,
you know? So, I suppose that's what's so important about our kōrero and our catch-ups we're going to be having, because we can sort of expose, I suppose, some of the myths, if you like.
Yeah, and we'll put it out there, whānau. We're no, you know, pictures of health ourselves, but like you mentioned earlier, brother, we were competitive athletes back in the rā, and we really judged yourself on your appearance.
Yeah.
But more so nowadays, what are you doing nowadays to keep you, because you are looking in pretty good nick there, me old mate.
Oh, thank you, my mate. I'll take that one.
It's not often.
It's not often.
It's actually just because we're on camera. But
I know. And to be fair, it was probably off the back of Mumsy saying to me I was going to the pack.
Oof, Jesus,
at some point. And just issuing that little bit of a weddle, you know.
Bit of a weddle out there.
Get some movement back in your life, you know. You're gone from this athlete, and then now you're just, because I thought, you know, not competing anymore, that, you know, like that's what that was my sole purpose. Really, was to stay in shape, to be, you know, that's just in our DNA, you know, like, when we compete, we want to do it at the, you know, best of our ability, and we want to do it at a high level sort of thing.
Right.
And I suppose, like, now, like you're saying, like, just finding something, you know, and for me and both yourself and other of our mates that have stopped playing rugby, you know, like BJJ has filled the void, and it's, yeah, like I was saying earlier, like I went there on the, you know, sort of whakaaro that, yeah, I didn't need to move again, and this is something similar to rugby. It's a full contact sport. And I suppose, you know, that fueled the fire a wee bit, you know, and it sort of was getting me across the line when I first started, because, you know, like being humbled by a man half your size, you know, sort of gets you up every day to get back there and have another crack at the title. But yeah, like,
how was you know, bro, I got a pata because we both enjoy our BJJ nowadays.
yeah.
Did you tap, bro? Did you, or did you just top? Nah, bro. I'll go to sleep, or I'll get it bent, or.
Yeah, nah, I was coming home with wrecked elbows, you know, and it's probably not the best thing when you're, you know, one of your mahis or
well, yeah.
you know, it's your money maker.
No, mahi ringa toia, and you're getting the pakaru arm.
Hey, because the old ego's getting a bit of a, the old mana's getting a munch on, and
That's our case.
yeah. So no, at the beginning, no, not at all. But yeah, being humbled many a time now. Yeah, and I think that's, you know, like that's part of that. Yeah, I suppose that hinenaro side you go through too, eh, brother? And I mean, that's what it became for me now, you know, like I actually just, like it does, I love what it does for my tinana and my flexibility and my movement, but most of all, it's my hinenaro gains I've just been really appreciating, you know. Just clarity, you know, getting drowned and being able to breathe and all those things, eh, brother? It just helps you realise that, you know, in life there's times you're fucking drowning too, eh, man? Just from those unforeseen pressures, and it's like, fucking breathe, man.
So you can draw that parallel, eh, between those unseen pressures, just like when you're on the BJJ mat and someone's up on his toes and got his shoulder on the jaw, and it doesn't look sore, but when you're under the pump and you've got limited oxygen sneaking into the brain, bro, you know, that's when you need to be able to steady yourself, slow your heart rate down, you know, all of those things. You know, we're not saying go out and join your BJJ gym and you'll be fine. What we're saying is we're going to bring you some, along the way, we're going to bring you some, hopefully some connections, some techniques, some kōrero that may be able to help yourself with that process, which will be good. Because, hey man, a lot of our men are dying way too early, which is not the taki.
Yeah, it's scary, eh? You know, like, you know, we both work in fields where we are around, you know, tāne a lot, and like, just because we are both conscious of our well-being, we can't help but, you know, have that lens sometimes too. Like when we are working with some of the brothers and some of our rangatahi, it's like, man, you need to look after yourself. And I suppose that's sort of like, this why this is cool too, like being able to bridge that gap too, like for some of the bros, like, you know, we need to actually have open dialogue about this, you know, because I do worry about, you know, we've both got mokopuna now and all those sorts of things. I'm actually, like really, you know, conscious about, you know, what sort of examples are we setting, basically, you know, and hey, bro, like we were saying, we haven't been angels in the past, then, like,
not at all.
Hey, you know, but like we're saying, as you get a bit older, it's like, man, what are we leaving behind? And I think, you know, like, and I often speak to my wife about, you know, like the whole societal dream about leaving materialistic things behind, assets behind. But I think now, man, like, I just really want to leave things behind, and it's sort of like whakaaro, you know, not so much the tangible things, but it's like, you know,
that
koro left us this stuff, you know. Like,
some mātauranga, eh, bro?
Yeah, bro.
How to do your mara. Hey,
all
that stuff that you can be used and passed on, eh?
Like, you know, you actually can't fit your whare in your toolkit, eh?
Can't take it with you,
you can't take it with you, eh, my mate, you know, so, just real conscious and aware around that stuff too now, you know? And it's, and just like we're saying, like the whole water thing is just huge now. And we can't sort of like, because, you know, like I'm working with a lot of rangatahi, like I'm
Yeah.
Always asking schools, like, I know there's like health subjects and there's PE and they're like, but we need like some form of subject at school, I think, where it's more rigorously, and it's not so much associated to academic gain, like I'm not taking health because I need this to get into health science when I leave.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Right.
Or I'm not doing this just because I need the credits. Like, to create something in our schooling system where we're actually educating our kids around, how to look after yourself, man.
Yeah, and first and foremost, what does that look like, eh?
Yeah,
hey,
bro.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, for us when we were young, and I guess most young people nowadays, what does that look like? That means if you've got a six-pack and you can run a certain distance under a certain time, or that, hey, the boy, you're good to go there, good to go there, and left now, get into it, babe. But actually, it's a lot more than that, and with the suicide rate here in Aotearoa as it is, bro, we're put on if we think we can carry on down the same way and expect a different result, eh?
Yeah.
But what would that look like, bro? How would that look like? You're intellect in regards to that kind of kaupapa. What's your whakaaro on that?
Well, like it's sort of like a lot of the things, like we don't actually need money for a lot of those good things too, bro? Like those wellness tools, like it's a simple breathing exercise, but like 90% of the day, like a lot of human beings now, we're just breathing in and out of our mouth all day, and like so. Like that's got to tell us there's something wrong there because you're born with a nose.
There you go.
You've got to eat, bro. And then when you look at our culture, and the hongi and the breath of life.
The breath of life,
mā te ihu, eh?
Yeah.
Mā te ihu. Hei aha no te waha, tuatahi mā te ihu.
Mā te ihu, eh, brother?
And then when you look at, just the benefits of nasal breathing, who was sort of put onto it by an old mate of ours, good old Tamatu Irurangi. Actually, the big man put us onto it. Just because around a lot of, obviously his concerns around the number of head knocks the big fella's taken in the front row over the years.
Yeah.
He started taping his mouth to sleep, and it was all around the nasal breathing and waking up a lot more with a lot more clarity, and it releases anxiety and all these sorts of things.
So he was katia tō waha.
Yeah, ia pō, bro, I mui te moi, tikana tētahi tepe, and
Heik!
Yeah, ko tepe, ko here I tōna waha. Yeah, and when he started, he reckons to me, like, I could feel like he's drowning after 2 hours sort of thing. And then that sort of got to 3.5, 4 hours, and then he's at the point now where he doesn't have to tape his mouth and he can regulate his nasal breathing throughout the night, bro. And he sort of just wakes up a lot clearer in terms of like his hinenaro space. And so like, he just sent me a few links to a few different sites where you basically did some online learning around it. And a lot of the kids I work with now, like that's one of the strategies I'll teach them. Like, fuck, when you think you're behind the 8 ball and teachers just getting on your case a wee bit, and you can just feel that cortisol building up in you, and you're gonna lose it. Like, just try and take that deep nasal, deep 3 nasal breaths before you actually engage and choose that reaction, And like, these are some of the boys, like, and we've all coached them before, there's our young boys that are, potentially big rugby stars and all this sort of stuff, and they look at you sideways sometimes like, fuck, come on, matua, really? But then like some of those boys now have messaged me years later on top of the maunga, che matua, just doing a breathing exercise, having to meditate, and fuck, glad you taught me this stuff, sort of thing, and so it's sort of those wins, bro, like
those are the wins, Yeah,
and like honestly, when I'm in schools and trying to encourage teachers, I'm like, man, it's like 10 minutes of your day. You've got these young ones for 6 hours, like if you could sneak little pockets like that into your day, but it's got to be that top-down, trickle-down stuff too.
Oh,
like,
it definitely has,
Has. Like our MOE and the different, departments, they need to be encouraging our teachers to do that too, and not being so sort of stringent on a lot of our kids' academic games,
Academic, but those academic games, bro.
Fuck. Some of our most successful friends, like like take ourselves for example, like we've done all right, one mate, you know, like I know I've got a degree, you know, and you've got some quals, but it's like it was never like our chosen path or passion, but
No, not at all.
yeah, we're still engaged in that world and got what we needed, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like the world's like our own tamariki living their own dreams now. Like you don't actually have to follow that traditional pathway, like we were talking about.
Bro, and that's like we talked about earlier, bro. Some of those jobs nowadays are way different than when we grew up. Yeah, we got taught, oh, okay, be a teacher, be a plumber, go and do one of those.
Yeah.
Engari, bro, out there now is just so many more variety and things that if they're into, bro, go and chase that.
Oh,
And if you're not into it after a year or whenever, oh, we'll go and do something else.
Yeah, hey, because the opportunities are there, like you're
Yeah.
saying, you know. And often I do wonder, bro, like when I look at some of our bros, if that's actually contributed to some of their bad health because of the mahi they've been like basically herded into.
And they have to do because of financial pressures.
Bro,
You got to stay there because if you don't, no one's paying your mortgage.
yeah.
Hey, or
20 plus years, 12-hour shifts, you know, never seeing the daytime sort of thing, my bro, you know, like
it's got to take an effect.
it's got to take a toll, bro. Yeah, and you know, like we were saying earlier, if not physically straight away, definitely psychologically, you know, and like the good old Doc Will always says to me, like, you know, a huge percentage of our physiological ailments are related to our psychological. You know, what's happening on the top 2 inches there? It's, you know, it's like, fuck. You know, and so like, like we're saying, and sometimes when I work with some whānau around the mate henenaro, it's like, sometimes we have to treat those, you know, sicknesses that we can't see straight away just as serious as the ones that may show physical, you know, tohu. Know, like, because, you know, it can become terminal for some of our people, their mate henenaro, you know, and they will take their lives, and so, like I just think that serious discussion needs to be had around, you know, like how we, you know, that emotional intelligence of our tamariki, of our own bros too, like how are we exercising that, you know? Because we've never been taught, like...
Nah, you got told, fuck you, man, I don't know, stop being a fucking pussy. You know, that was the kōrero.
And that's how you exercised.
Yeah.
your resilience was like, it was almost like, well, you have to.
You got no choice.
There's no choice in this, you know.
Scenario.
It's going to turn physical in some way.
There's going to be issues. Finish is going to get moving.
Because we're sharper than the next one. We don't want that to turn physical. So okay, then I'll just, you know, however, I'm going to harden up. I'm going to give it a crack.
However that sounds or seems.
Yeah. But like when I, you know, like you're saying, when I look at the breath work and the clarity it brings you in the calm, you know, and now I know that actually hardening up when someone's choking you is actually to relax and be nimble and actually soft in a way,
Well, that how you just put it there is because if you tense up and harden up, bro, you're going to use all your adrenaline up, you're going to use all your energy, you got no heart left, bro, you're over, so you got to relax, soft, protect your neck, you can breathe through. Okay, calm. Okay, what's his next step? What am I going to do next to prevent that, you know?
Which is just like, you know, it's like, that does my head in. It's like, all these years, you know, and because we were quite reactive to that harden up quarter.
And that was it, you react, harden up, and whatever you were doing, or the next action you did had to be very physical, with a lot of intensity. Sometimes you won that battle. More than likely, you ended up knocking yourself out or something silly.
And I mean, like we were talking earlier, you know, the correlations between sport and life. It's like, fuck. And some of the boys are getting under these pressure moments where it could be financial, where it could be, you know, emotional or, you know, relationship, and you tense up in that moment. And it's like, fuck. And then obviously the detriment you fucking suffer because you've tensed up and you haven't been taught, like, you know, calm down, man, take a breath, you know, step outside, all those sorts of things. Fuck, But I think, that's the cool thing around our corridor, you know.
So those that have tuned in, if you're watching, myself and Stu are going to have guests that'll be in the back. We'll have a kōrero, and it can be a serious kōrero, it can be a hard te kehi one, because, you know, we're pretty hard case chaps, we like to think, but when it comes to the kaupapa, you know, we'll get down to the nitty gritty, and we'll also feed some information around who you can go to, because like we've mentioned, we're not the experts at it, but we have got some experts on our side, and that will guide us and guide people into the right areas of professional hauora or health. But yeah, sometimes, like my very esteemed Prata here has just talked about, health is not sometimes not the hospital, it's not a whare, you know, it's maybe not even your tinana, it's quite possibly could start with upstairs. Ara, look, here's this fella, that's his hauora there, look, turbala. Work it.
I just think like there's some real simple ones out there, like you just alluded there, he rongoa te katakata.
Yes.
But me whai wā, te tūhono ki o hoa, whakaratarata, you know, tētai ki tētai, you know, whakakatakata tētai ki tētai, you know, so, like make it an actual thing. Like, bro, catch up, have a laugh with the bros, like, it's an actual rongoa, you know, and I suppose when we were younger, like, in a way you sort of do take it for granted because it's more of a social gathering, but you're not realising the wellness in there, bro, because we're taught, basically, you know, and I mean, you know, like, like just there's a lot of simple things that we can do out there, whānau, where you don't have to join a gym and be on a 12-week program, or you know what I mean?
Exactly, bro, exactly.
There's a lot of good soul food out there, you know, like you know, lucky where we live, brother, you know, like we're seeing all these whānau just walking on the beach and just taking that moment and just being fucking present where, you know, be grateful where you live, and you know, just there's some real simple things out there. And I think in today's world where it's all rush, like we just sort of skim over those simple things, you know.
Far, bro, that makes me cast my thoughts back to when, you know, I was not long in France. And that's how they were over there, bro. I thought they were quite uptight people.
Yeah.
But, bro, they're very relaxed, and they start work late. Yes, they stay up late, but their whole whakaaro is when they have lunch, bro. It's kata, have a inu waina, whatever, but they have a laugh. But it's not just, hey, how you been, bro? Oh, cheer, that's, you got a new car? Oh, massive. It's a little bit deeper than that, you know. And if it took you 1 hour or 2 hours, well, then there's kei te pai. And if you didn't go back to work, well, there's kei te pai too, because they go, I say, don't you have to go back to work then to lunch? You go, work will be there tomorrow, you know. So that wasn't their main thing, you know, whereas unfortunately we've created our society, or it's been created for us about, but you have to be at work at this, you have to work this time, you know, you have to do this in order to get that. Well, me and you don't, but I'm sort of against the grain there.
I'm actually sitting there buzzing out listening to your kōrero, because I'm thinking, you know, because when you play a Frenchman, bro, he doesn't seem to be that laid back. No,
they're passionate,
Yeah,
they're passionate, bro.
Yeah,
they're passionate about their rugby, bro. You know.
Yeah. I just sort of started to have a whakaaro then, and you know, hoki mahara, and I'm thinking, fuck, the brother's right. I don't think I ever met a mellow Frenchman.
No. They all,
especially in our environment where we were, was like, fuck yeah, nah. Because after a while when you're playing, you sort of can read the ahu and the wairu of different nations,
different nationalities.
You know you can have that different relationship with them even when you're playing them. Even though we're being competitive, you know, but you
can have a bit of a laugh or a bit of a joke with someone, but
regardless of language barriers, and cultural barriers, you just sort of had that wairu, you know. But like when you're telling me about the Frenchman being mellow, it's like,
well, and I suppose that's where I got all my previous information from, was playing against them, but very intense, very competitive. You know, win at all costs. You know, I've had a few. You know, had a few run-ins with them. But I guess in the context where you are, but that is your job at that time, is to do your best possible. But wicked. Wicked. Hard case, all right. What else on our paper? What else on our paper there, mate? We've had a mean kōrero.
Yeah.
What else do you think, Pep?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking what you need to get out of it, because there's a lot of kōrero there, but you can clip a little bits out, eh?
Yeah.
I suppose our big one, or not our, it's to try and get that tauranga, what is it? Cardiac, what's that one?
Centre for Health.
Oh, yeah, Centre for Health. Okay.
Centre for Health. Yeah, I suppose a little kōrero around there, mate, and there mahi, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you know, just, I suppose, how we've come here.
Yep.
Eh, bro, you know?
Yep.
I mean, I did have a bit of a giggle when she said to me, "Oh, Mutzi's getting involved with this one, but he's only doing it if you do it." But even then, bro, I thought, nah, this is a tohu too, you know?
Yeah.
Good opportunity for me and the brother to reconnect.
Yeah, it's been a while, eh?
It's been a while, my bro. And, you know, and good to see you. It's just fucking like no time's been between us anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
But I just thought, you know, the goodness of their kaupapa too, you know?
Yeah.
With the whānau at the Centre for Health and all the goodness that they get out there. And I mean, I've been involved with a couple of research projects with them, which has actually heightened my awareness. And I must admit, like, every time I get in their presence, I do have a little self-check.
Yeah, it's a little, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of anxiety gets up. Because I know the old mate might be, you know,
Yeah.
looking at the skin folds or something. But anyway,
looking at you, eh? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, let himself go again.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, should be grateful to be part of a community where they do hold you accountable
Yeah.
for your well-being, Mutzi. You know, because as we know, you know, parts of our culture have become quite, you know, I would say fucking laxed.
Oh, very laxed, eh? Very
around
laxed.
our well-being, bro. And considering our, you know, if we were to look at ourselves historically, you know, always been fit people, always ate well, eh, my brother? But then, you know, where we're looking at where our stats are sitting now.
Oh, we're on the end of every wrong step, apart from bulimia and anorexia.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
You know, but everything, we're on the wrong end of everything, bro.
Everything, okay, bro, you know. So, yeah, and like our team, our whānau, you know, at the Centre for Health, you know, frontlining,
bro.
Frontlining all the time.
And I went in there for a checkup, bro, on the old,
Nice.
on the old ngākau, bro. And it was actually hard, eh?
Oh, mate.
Because you get stuck on and put on the treadmill, and then, you know, you're going along there and you think, yeah, wait, easy.
I may hold the record for the longest consultation there. Just a wee bit of denial. Might have been questioning some of the data.
Yeah,
But a tahi is a tahi.
Yeah.
A rua is a rua, my brother. You know, the old numbers can't lie.
Yeah, no.
There's no kōrero in there. It's like, it's all black and white. Yeah. And like you're saying, yeah, it is.
But it was like
demanding. Oh, you know,
it was good because you had to push your heart.
Yeah.
You know, because in our family, like a lot of Māori families, my papa died from a heart attack, and so you know that was for me. I was going to go and have a checkup and to get that reassurance from them down there. Say, oh no, your heart's good, works well. I'm thinking, oh sweet, no, that's all good. That's all good. I'm happy with that. But probably need to go back and have another one.
Yeah, definitely.
Been a few years.
Yeah, and I know me mate, our mate Willie Moss, he's been hassling me because I did have one, was it last year, but I've had the texts coming through and fuck, the old man's using that same old excuse, too busy, you know. But yeah, definitely need to get him for their checkup again and their regularity around it, you know.
Yeah. And make it one of those things, eh? Check in, go and do that.
Yeah. The old waka gets more of a checkup than me, my man. You know, he'll take you a waka for a warrant, eh? How many months? Fucking man won't even take himself.
Every 10,000 clicks, eh?
Hey, he's like, fuck, man, cares for his waka more than his own bloody waka. Like, what's that all about?
Wow, you put it in that context, eh?
Yeah.
Fuck, this thing goes in for a check every 10,000 on Te book it in, ring up, wait 2 weeks, put it in.
Yeah.
But you can't even ring up and book yourself in for a checkup, eh?
And I mean, I think, and just when you mentioned your papa there, and and the cardiac problems in your line, and I have to give my old man a plug at this time because he's constantly, because he's got a pacemaker, he's had the triple bypass and all that, and he's constantly like, especially after our mates passed away, he's like, I told you, man, like, you're at that age, bro, like, you should be more consistent with it, I think the old boy was saying he might have had his first heart attack in his 20s, bro.
Really?
Yeah, bro. And like, typical Māori man too, just the mumai gets excruciating, and then we go, and then it's like, far out,
That bottom of the cliff stuff, we're so good at that, bro, instead of getting at the top of the cliff and getting sorted so we don't fall off the cliff.
Yeah, well, it's that hard case corridor around being hard and all that sort of stuff, like, man, so, like the old boy, he's often having a plug, just because, he's been in that situation, and he acknowledges it now, and I must say, my dad does have good eating habits and good routines. And now that we all live on the kainga together, and being able to witness that, I actually, as I know he's not going to watch this, so I can actually say, he actually marvels me, the old fella, like his zest for life. Yeah. And I reckon it's just around his whole outlook on well-being now.
Wow.
And how that sort of looks,
Yeah.
Because, the old boy, back in the day, he'd be drinking, smoking, all those things, and then mokapunas came along and whittled him with his smoking, and then continual heart problems, and just sort of sorting out his diet, and just watching him now, I'm thinking, just because, when coming into our small community of Matapi now, not a lot of our uncles are left, so Dad and them are counting themselves on one hand now, and then the ones that are left with my papa, I'm sort of looking at them and think, well, they have had quite a, they have kept themselves in reasonably good
shape,
time,
Yeah. But that's mean that his whole drive for life is still there. His up still on the tour, still mahi doing, because I watched this, the Blue Zone. Hey, bro, and you look, they've all got a reason to get up in the morning. They know their why, their whakaaro the next day, whether it be mahi kai or whangaunga pepe or whatever it is. Hey, they've all got that that reason, and that zest for life, and catch up with your mates and have a kata, bro. Have a laugh.